एक चीज़ मैंने रियलाइज की, बिकॉज इट्स बीन 3 years नाउ, तो करीब 3 साल हो गए मतलब जब मैं कॉन्स्टेंट पेन में हूँ। हम डिसिप्लिन स्पेस में बात करते हैं, नथिंग अबाउट अस विदाउट अस। आई मीन मुझे अब समझ आता है कि what's the value of a personal lived experience. Whenever we used to hold meetings and host organizing, I mean conferences, I always used to think कि diversity रखना है, I have to work about gender, inclusive disabilities, literacy. Now I understand what it means to have gone through and no diversity, no foreign degree no theory research can match that. So I mean that's one. My initial symptoms started in 2020 in the height of COVID peak lockdown. तो हम लोग राशन की हेल्प कर रहे थे. There was a lot of grief. People were dying left and right, and I started experiencing pain. It took me more than 145 physiotherapy sessions to figure out what's happening. When I was doing the physiotherapy sessions, they were, of course, they were elderly people, and वो अपने साथ डायरी लेके आते थे. Used to mark 20 sessions, 40 sessions. He said, "What's happening? Why would you need 40 sessions in your lifetime?" But I just recounted it's been more than 145 physiotherapy sessions. Because I was in the disability sector, people knew me that I lead Astha, I am the disability organization. Doctors would say, "Oh, you are from Astha, how can you be in pain? How old are you? 28, how can you be in pain?" And then of course I was being a man, and I'm very Punjabi, quite outgoing in my conversation, so I think it was difficult for me to convince people that I'm in pain. I was constantly telling them कि मुझे दर्द है, but then people said probably it's all in your head. And I think when Alice was sharing yesterday, I had to constantly prove every second that I have a condition. And I think at one point of time I internalized that is it really what I'm thinking, and I'm not in pain. So after 2.5 years, my very close friend, childhood friend, over some chilling moment said, "Are you in pain?" And I thought to myself, am I? So I think I had internalized a lot of things which the world was saying, but so it took me quite some time. One of my closest relatives told me that this is the result of you giving your 7 years of your youth to disabled children, and that's what has made it. So and I think every such night it was deep in my pain. When I said what's happening in the world, so I think that's kind of the journey. One thing which I was most scared about was to lose people I love. मुझे लगा क्या हो रहा है, I was cancelling plans. My mother could not understand what's happening. My father still thinks कि तूने जिम गलत किया था 5 साल पहले. For them to have this constant pain was difficult. I thought I'll lose my relationships, I'll lose my family, lose my friends, because I would have changed plans, कल कहीं जाना है, but I would not go. It was not a choice for me to go it was not a choice कि मैं किसके साथ कहाँ जाऊँगा. It was a choice for me कि मैं किस दिन जा सकता हूँ या किस दिन कर सकता हूँ. So I think those and then the intensity deepened to a way that I could not wear my shirts, I could not brush my teeth, I could not read books. मैं 10 घंटे कोविड रिलीफ कर रहा था, फिर 14 घंटे सोता था. So caregiving, I'll come to the question of caregiving. If I'm speaking too much, just stop me, Anjali. So with caregiving, I really don't know what to do, because caregiving happens when you know what's happening. मुझे ही नहीं पता था what's happening, and the doctors didn't know. So there was just no information. And I think one thing I've realized that when there's no information, probably individual stories and collective journeys are healing. I let my friends just travel over me, and let my mother and sister say कि पता नहीं what's happening to him, and it's all in the head and therapy. So I think when caregivers talk amongst each other, regardless in what context, I think that helps. With caregivers, it's one more thing. It's because they're always thinking कि it's in Pratik's head. So they're also a bit worried, like, should you talk about it openly? Because also to be a leader in that sense, and to be a man, should you talk about vulnerability openly? I think that's something which, in spite of the love and the care which they do, they're still not sure कि क्या भाई सही प्लेटफॉर्म पे डालना चाहिए. I mean, LinkedIn पे क्या डालना चाहिए that you are in constant pain and what to do, or should you just write yeah Stane, what we've done in professional sense. So I think that, and what Shanti ji was saying yesterday of inclusivity, one thing which has worked wonders for me is have to have an inclusive workspace. I think I would not have survived. I would not have been survived in that sense. I would have lost it. I mean, financially, but I think to have an inclusive workspace which changed the world for me, had a lot of flexibility, asked me to lie down, not take consecutively half days for 15 takes consecutively become late and not during the timings. I think to have an inclusive workspace, because that's the time you spend half your time. I mean, that's 8 to 10 hours. Can you think about it? So I think that, and finally I rest now. I will rest, reclaim, and restore. I don't worry about my deadlines. I don't worry about things which external people will say, because I think a lot of stress comes from your workspace. If the workspace is accessible, a lot of things work for you. But the rest, reclaim, and restore is my motto.
Thank you so much. Well said. It is indeed a fact that most of the rest, or maybe